Welcome to the August 27th edition of Give Me 5 Minutes with Fort Smith City Director Neil Martin. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video. And if you're new, we talk about the things that happened last week and we look ahead to what's going on this week. So let's go ahead and get after it. Give me 5. Last Tuesday, August 22nd, we had a study session, a special called meeting, and an executive session. I encourage you to go to fortsmithar.gov/watch. There you can see everything that we voted on. You can see the agenda, you can look at a summary of how we voted or what we talked about, or you can watch the meeting and you can go back a few months and watch various meetings. So I encourage you to do that. It's a very helpful tool. You can also, if you watch a meeting, you can go to a specific agenda item and just watch that. So that's a new feature at fortsmithar.gov/watch. So a couple things we talked about in our study session. First, we talked about departmental service objectives. So each department sent a list to the board of their service objectives, their key performance indicators of 23 and 24. We got a chance to review those. We also talked about cybersecurity insurance. So we had some discussions there. It looks like we're going to go back and get some competing policies and present that to the board mid-September, something like that. So that was our study session. We had a special meeting and we were all unanimous. We voted 7-0 on all of these. First one was to authorize the city administrator to negotiate for the ACME brick property. Now, one of the things I didn't tell you last week, and it's important to tell you now, is we asked ACME Brick to donate that land to us. They came back to us and said no. And so now we're going to try to enter into an agreement, or at least negotiate with them to see if we can get that property. One of the key features of this property is an opportunity to develop a detention pond that can potentially, or that will, ease flooding on the north part of our city. So that's a strategic imperative for us. So we want to try to see if there's an opportunity for us. There's opportunity for a mountain bike park, a walking trail, a number of different things in the heart of the city. So we've authorized the city administrator to do that. We also authorized the city administrator to negotiate for property for a new police precinct. So this is over off of Borough Road. It's the former barbecue place, a barbecue restaurant that was there. It's a good kind of centralized, south centralized location for a second police precinct. This is something that Chief Baker has been asking for a number of years. We might have a good opportunity at this property. And so we've authorized the city administrator to move forward on that. We also had a new item on the agenda, added onto the agenda, to negotiate for deer trails. As you know, the board has been expressing a desire for the land at Deer Trails, or really to keep Deer Trails Golf Course a golf course. That's what we want. We want to make sure that land stays a golf course, because there are multiple developers that own land around that golf course that want to develop and want to make sure that a golf course, or the golf course, remains a golf course. So we went to the FCRA a couple weeks ago and they declined our offer. Now we've extended it a little bit. We were asking for 40 years. They said they'd be open to 50 years. So we're going 50 years, that it would remain a golf course as long as the Deer Trails golf course is financially solvent, which they've proven to be for a long period of time. They have been operating in a profit environment. So we're happy with what they're doing. We want to keep it a golf course. So we're hopeful that those, as a part of the FCRA board, sees this offer, sees our commitment, and will vote to send that land over to the city of Fort Smith. So it will remain a golf course and development can happen. We need housing. This would be premier housing in the city of Fort Smith. So we're hopeful that the FCRA would do that. We also had an executive session for cybersecurity related information. We talked with our IT director, James Gentry, on a number of things related to cybersecurity in this executive session. So that was very helpful and important for us. So a lot of good things happened on Tuesday. August 29th is a study session. So this is a rare fifth Tuesday, but there's so many things going on in the city that we're having a study session. The meeting is at the Blue Lion, 101 North 2nd Street in downtown Fort Smith. I encourage you to come out, listen to what we're talking about, and I'd love to get a chance to meet you. On our agenda is discussion of a conditional use for a commercial communication tower on Newland Road. We'll be talking about flooding issues on Edinburgh Drive. This is a street up in Fianna Hills that experienced significant flooding back on one of the storms that we received in July. I think it was July 14th. They experienced a number of flooding issues. So we're going to be talking about that. We are going to be discussing a location of a new school within the corporate boundaries of the city of Fort Smith. Greenwood has purchased property. It is in the Greenwood School District, but is in the city of Fort Smith. And then finally on our agenda, we will be discussing the updates to the 2023 Departmental Capital Improvement Plans. If you ever want to know what's going on with streets, parks, police, solid waste, utilities, the CIP plans are what to look at. There's some really neat things that are going on with parks and streets and sidewalks. And I encourage you to go to fortsmithar.gov/watch to take a look at those. I'll be highlighting those over the next few weeks. You can see what's happening. So I'll be sharing those out, but this is a very important, a very good meeting, and I encourage you to watch. That's it for this week's Give Me 5. I so appreciate you watching. And if you ever see me out and about, come say that you watch Give Me 5. I'd love to hear that. That is an encouragement to me. Thank you for taking the time, and we'll do it again next week on Give Me 5.